Hello and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo, where we're continuing from where we left off. So we're gonna tell Kenji that she wasn't cute. Not exactly cute, no. Hmm, there are a lot of cute girls here. A strangely disproportionate amount. I believe this is one of the dark secrets of this school. I tried to warn you, man, but you didn't listen. But did you listen? I don't remember any such warning. Dark secrets. Yeah, dark secrets. Extremely dark, like a black hole. Have you noticed the number of girls in this school is slightly but significantly higher than the number of boys? It's like 60-40. He turns his head to the left and stares off into the distance at nothing. Why is it like this? I mean, to the untrained eye it doesn't appear to be that bad, but it's like a full 20%. One would think that a school with such a huge pool of women would be a man's dream, but no. What I'm about to tell you will blow your mind. Are you ready? I don't know where this is going, but I think I won't be missing much by cutting out now. No, I'm not ready. I only get as far as turning the doorknob before Kenji starts talking again, showing that he doesn't really care if I mind if it's blown or not. I believe that this school is a battleground, the site of a feminist infiltration. This disparity is the number of men to women is a clear sign of how far they have come. In case this Cold War turns hot, they will have superiority in numbers. Just another skirmish in the external war against the forces of the feminists. They're everywhere. In Japan, women outnumber men. It's like 60-40 split. But it's only a matter of time, man. Even in America, women are the majority by a hair. They're building up their numbers. In the past, the buildup of a military has always been the clearest signs of the imminent war. Japan is just the first step. Our economy is badass, and the country itself is small and isolated, yet a huge part of the Pacific in terms of political value. The perfect target. They are so cunning, as expected of women. Soon the day will come when... Kenji's voice trails off ominously. That is why you can't trust them. They will string you along and they will kill you, just as they killed me. You will end up just like me. Oh hell no. I can't stop myself from blurring it out. Hey, what the hell does that mean? You said it, not me. It's the best I can think of. So you're not supposed to say something that you like that? Damn, so rude. Where am I? Oh yeah, vast feminist conspiracies. Stop it, stop! I lost my way back there somewhere. Somewhere around feminist infiltration. Too hard to follow? It's cool. I have some grass and stuff in my room. And puppets. You like puppets? No puppets. You don't like puppets? Okay, graphs are still cool though, right? He speaks ingenuinely, responding almost before I'm done talking, moving his hands in an animated way as he continues to rant on. This is too strange. I had him pegged as relatively normal, but it's clear that I was wrong. Something on your mind, dude? Just thinking about what it's like to be the last sane man in this insane world. Kenji frowns, looking deeply upset. You mean that's you? It can't be, because I'm the last sane man in this insane world. That is my dream. You can't just steal a man's dream. What the hell? There can't be two last sane men. It would invalidate the whole last part. And the part is kind of important. There could only be one. Like in the foreign movie where there could only be one. And in the end, there's only one dude left. But that was the point. I have never seen anyone talk so heatedly and so defensively about absolutely nothing before. Anyway, if you wait here, I can get my graphs. I also have a list of other dark and complex conspiracies that this school holds, as tangled as... Quick, finish my analogy for me. Be a pal. I'm going to bed now. It's extremely late. That doesn't sound like an analogy, but whatever. I like you. You seem like a cool dude. Most people don't understand what I'm talking about when I try to explain the vast feminist conspiracies to them. Denial is a terrible thing. Yeah, it is. Later. He claps me on the back and vanishes into his room so quickly and quietly it's like he didn't even open the door, but instead walked right through it as like a ghost. I don't know if I could fully digest what just happened, so I give up and just go to my room, kicking off my shoes before falling face first in bed. It takes some time to relax, and I get up so I can get started on my homework. It's because the sheets are so cool and comforting up against my cheeks, and it feels good just lying there with my eyes closed. This school is like some kind of bizarre and surreal island. It's isolated on top of a mountain, and each person is stranger than the last. I just can't seem to fit in. What irony. One would think that fitting in a place that's made for people who are unfit for anywhere else would be easy. Maybe I'm trying too hard. Although I say that, it doesn't take the edge off, and the words are left echoing off my empty walls. I guess it's not as bad as I expected, though. This place really is more a school and less a hospital pretending it's a school than I thought it would be. If nothing else, the scenery is beautiful. I open one eye seeing the school book and bottles of pills arranged side by side on my desktop. Maybe this place is too much like a normal school after all. I'm figuring. I wake up in the classroom. I feel very tired this morning, probably because yesterday itself was a very tiring day. On top of that, I woke up far earlier than necessary. After saying hi to Shizune and Misha, I start doing the work as instructed from the board. It already looks like today is going to be heavy. I don't have a problem with that now, though. Shizune and Misha might jump on me trying to get an answer about whether or not I've decided to join the student council, even if it's just one day. I wouldn't put it past them to try. I don't have an answer for them if they do, so the situation is convenient for me. About 10 minutes into her class, Hanako walks in and takes a seat, but no one looks at her. The teacher doesn't even comment on her lateness. He does, however, stop us to say what we're going to break into groups again. I turn my head and see Shizune and Misha are looking at me. Shizune gives me a smile that is equal parts cute and menacing. This is a smile that says, "We have you now, there is no escape." Hey-chan, it looks like we're together again. Yay, yay. Who the heck says yay, yay? It's a weird thing to say. Misha leans sideways while Shizune pushes her desk closer to mine. There really is no escape now unless I were to jump through the window. Jumping out the window isn't a bad option, sadly. Oh, isn't the best option. Isn't a bad option. That's what I thought. Jumping out the window isn't a bad option. Shizune. What's wrong, Hichan? Oh, Hichan, have you been thinking about what you said yesterday? You said that you were thinking about joining the student council, didn't you? It's okay, Chan. We were talking about it after you left, and it would be rude to expect you already to have an answer for it this early, right? Heh, 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 heh. I'm so happy you two are able to laugh at my expense, and even more pleased to know that both of you know. Wait, what? And even more pleased to know that you both know how crazy the two of you can be. Now that's now that that's over, Shizune snaps back into serious mode and smacks today's assignment with the back of her hand in an overly dramatic and important way. When I actually look at the stuff, it's mostly just reading. In fact, there are only two problems. I almost want to say something about how her rush to get started seems a bit much, considering the small amount of work. In fact, Shizune probably knows how little there is, and simply doesn't care. Yeah, it seems like the workload doesn't matter to her as much as the fact that there is work. The actual amount is unimportant. She approaches everything with the same level of ambition. What? While I'm reading, I let my eyes wander around the room and catch Hanako trying her hand at solving the problem. It looks like she's working alone. I can't remember seeing her working with other people before. Thinking back to how shy she is, it's understandable. Hey, that girl over there? Who? Huh? Who, Hichan? Her, Hanako, over there. Does she always work alone? I think so, Hichan. Do you feel sorry for her because she's alone? I was just thinking that maybe she could work with us or something. No. I don't think that would be a good idea, Hichan. Why not? Hichan wouldn't get along with her. Why? Mr. shuffles around the question, letting out a laugh that sounds very strange. It's nervous, but still has the lifting up and down quality present in everything she says. Just because, Hichan. I burped, I'm sorry. I'm gonna burp again. Sorry. By now Shizune has noticed our conversation and it makes me realize again how Misha has been signing everything she has been saying this whole time. What, Shisan? The friend of the enemy is my enemy. The friend of my enemy is my enemy. That sounds harsh. I'm not going to say that. You said it anyway. I know, Hichan. It's fine if you feel over here. I wonder if this is Misha's way of keeping things fair, since without her, I wouldn't be able to understand a thing Shizune is saying, and vice versa. Is that also why she signs all the time, so there is never a conversation Shizune will be left out of? Anyways, we should start on the problems now, Hichan. What jerk-offs. We finished with time to spare, and I decide to ask if there is any alternative to the cafeteria, as frankly, the food so far has been subpar. This sends Shizune and Misha arguing amongst themselves about their favorite restaurants. All of them are downtown, so I don't think we have time to go all the way there. And what about the bill? Are they arguing just for the fun of it? Maybe. They seem so distracted by it that they don't even notice the start of the actual lunch break. I look over my shoulder towards the back of the classroom. She seems to be studying her notes from the previous class. It's an odd sight. Everyone else in the class is busy themselves with the lunch break. Socializing, gossiping, rearranging desks. The ones with actual box lunches mixed in and chattering like everyone else, only interrupted by short bouts of eating. But when I watch Hanako, it feels that I'm the only one who can see her, almost as if she was invisible. Sort of hiding in plain sight. Is she being bullied? Is she isolating herself from the rest of the class on her own accord? I see her look over her shoulder towards the classroom's rear door. Come to think of it, she hasn't turned a page since I've started watching her. I guess she's waiting for someone. I do what I always do when I don't know what to do. Like now. I've already started on one of the books I borrowed yesterday, and took it with me to school to fill the empty moments between classes. I find the page that I creased a corner of to mark the spot I left yesterday night, and pick up from there. Misha and Zune are still arguing heatedly, probably about the restaurant still. If I join them, I just get caught up in that. Or worse, get grilled about joining the student council. Misha isn't speaking aloud since there is nobody who'd need to hear what they had talking about, what they were talking about. But why does she tend to sigh things even when Shizune doesn't need to understand what's being said? Or even more strangely, when Shizune is not around at all. What an odd conflict of habits. I find it hard to focus on the book, and besides, the lunch break beckons me to leave in the dullness of the classroom. I do so, heading down for the cafeteria. Misha and Shizune have come to a conclusion of one kind or another, follow in my wake through still talking in their animated fashion. Just around the corner of the hallway, something hits me in the chest with the force of a runaway train. Ouch! Owie! Opening my eyes, I see a pair of saucer-like green eyes looking up at me. They belong to the perpetrator. A short girl who bumped into me and has now fallen down onto the hallway floor. She wears a PE uniform and a very worried frown. The former strikes me as a rather strange thing to have on during a lunch break. More striking than that, though, is that she doesn't have legs. Or she does, but they are not flesh and bone. Her pale and very much flesh and bone thighs end in shins, and feet made of some black metallic or plastic-like material. They look disturbingly artificial and unnatural. It almost makes me forget that my chest is hurting. The girl winces a little, rubs her nose, and jumps up. Oh man, hey, are you alright? I'm sorry about that, really. I wasn't looking where I was going, and you just came out of nowhere. Sorry. She looks really apologetic, in the hurt puppy way of looking apologetic. I quickly forget about being angry or anything, since hurt puppies are my weak spot. It's okay, don't worry about it. Owie! I say that, but there's a stinging pain growing in my chest, and I thought that this is the biggest possible danger for my condition. Don't overexert yourself. Don't forget your medication, and most of all, don't get hit in the chest. I try to rub my solar plexus to chase the pain away, holding my breath in an attempt to hear my heartbeat. Seems normal. Hey, should I get a nurse? The worried, high-pitched voice of the girl snaps me out of it. I stare at her for a few seconds, dumbfounded, until I realize that I probably looked worse off than I really was. Doubled over myself and looking all tense. Damn. I overly worried about my heart. No need, I'm fine. Managing to say something in response, I pull myself upright, feeling my sore ribs one last time and take a deep breath. She just knocked the wind out of me, big time. But it's nothing more than that. You sure you're okay? I hit you pretty hard. It's okay. I said I was fine and nothing's broken. No harm done. That's good. I feel a hand on my shoulder at the same time the girl's... What the hell happened? Yeep. I don't have time to look behind me because Shizune is already shoving me aside and stomping over to the girl, sighing furiously at her. Miss Arabzowski, I saw that. Running in the halls is strictly forbidden. Misha translate right on Miss Shizune's tail, but her voice is girlishly playful, not full of the divine fury Shizune's arm movements would seem to call for. Sorry, I was just going to get some stuff, and I was kinda in a hurry. You've been told this 1,000 times before. Your reckless behavior endangers other students, and even worse, it's explicitly against the school regulation. Explicitly? The girl blushes and starts to fidget nervously like a little child caught misbehaving. It's so cute. I find myself smiling. Oh, I know that. I was just. Hmm. Make sure that will not happen again. Although I'm sure telling you this is futile, and only causes me further headaches when you choose to ignore the regulations. Got that, Emmy? A small girl sticks her tongue out in response. Ah! I gotta go. Teacher will have my head. I promised to help with printouts, but I'm running instead. But I went running instead. Sorry, but I've got to change and everything. Before Mr. and Shizune or I can say anything, she's already bolted from where she was a second ago, almost halfway towards the stairwell. Shizune looks like she's about to go nuclear on the spot, so I smile at her in vain, attempting to calm her down. Are you okay, Chan? That Arabizaki girl is always like that, causing trouble to others. You know, I'm pretty certain Shizune wouldn't call me Hichan. Never mind, never mind. Yeah, anyway, I'm okay. Just got the wind knocked out of me. That's great, Hichan. I don't call that great, but I let it slide this one time. We have to run now. There is an important student council meeting regarding the festival, and we finally decided where to eat. Too bad you can't join, but the lunch meeting is only for council members. We can take you there some other time. Oh, but that'd be like a date, wouldn't it? Hey, hey. The girls leave for downstairs. I didn't manage to get far from the third floor hallway before all this commotion struck, literally. I should get going as well. The lunch and the afternoon class pass uneventfully. I read most of the book I had started yesterday and eat some of the mostly unedible offerings of the cafeteria. This class is tiresome. The teacher seems like an okay person despite the weird first impression I got, and the material is relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. When the final bell sounds, I realize that there's a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. It's odd. At the hospital, I had 24 hours a day of free time, but here filling the considerable shorter hours feels difficult. Everyone else leaves and I'm left alone with the teacher. Mutao is examining the assignment sheets we were working on earlier, marking them with a red ball pen. Raising his eyes from his paper, briefly, he notices me and furrows his brow. What is it, Nakai? I jump at him addressing me, but I guess it's natural to spark some conversation since there's nobody else around. Nothing. Thinking about what I'm do after school. The teacher slowly puts a cap on the pen and he is holding and arranges his papers into a stack, clacking against his desk twice. He seems very methodical, and for a brief moment I'm reminded of Shizune. But the teacher is more unhurried and relaxed, much more routine. You have no plans? No, I considered joining a club, but don't know what kind of club would interest me. Go observe a meeting or someone else's club. Might perk your interest. I guess. But I don't know how to continue from there. Mutao looks at me in a way that makes me quickly want to take the words back to avoid a conversation. but I can't, so I have to forge ahead. I just don't know how to deal with people. I mean, the other students. I'm talking to people and everything, so it's not that I'd been isolated or anything. I just don't know what to think about the disabilities. It's like it feels that I'm being impolite if I pay attention to them, and it's weird if I to ignore them. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. The teacher scratched his cheek absent-mindedly, looking very unresponsive. These things are only an issue if you make them one. You can talk normally with someone if they are blind or something. Try to look behind the superficial. There's not a single student here who isn't just a normal kid behind whatever they might have at first glance, or seem at first glance. He says the same thing as Yuko did. I know they're right, but it's hard. How can you not consider, for example, Shizun's deafness, when the only way to communicate with her is to talk through Misha? Or Hanako, it's like, you can't ignore her face. But I'm interrupted by the door of the classroom suddenly slamming open. Teacher! Misha crashes in, hands straight with an enthusiastic greeting, her voice loud and lively enough to wake the dead from their graves. She starts towards the teacher's desk with her bouncing step, hands energetically swinging with the rhythm. Without visibly dismayed at the interruption, and Misha in general slumps in his chair. Mikado? Misha stops in her tracks and looks around cluelessly, as if she's sensing from his tone that something's wrong but has no idea what. Yeah? We have talked about volume control before. Yes? But she doesn't lower her voice at all, and the teacher just rubs his eyes. So what is it? We need help. We are running out of supplies for the festival stands. This is a distress. She waves a pink slip of paper she's holding around. So, go get more supplies from the art room. What's the problem with that? Plywood. Plywood is always the problem. Last time we wanted more, there was only a little, but that time we just took it all and went with that. Now there's like none left. None left there. So do you know where there is some? I don't understand how I would know. The president, thought that a teacher would know if there is plywood. Was she wrong? Matao looks at her with great pain. Wait, what? Matao looks like he is in great pain, frowning with his entire essence, and Misha doesn't get it at all. Looking at the two of them communicate is terrible, like looking at a man being tortured by drilling his skull open while blasting pop music at full volume at the same time. I'm afraid I have no idea if there is plywood in the school, let alone where it would be if there was any. Aw, what should I do? Perhaps trying to find Mr. Nomiya. I'm quite sure he would know where to find everything you need. You'd have to pry them from his cold, dead hands, but it's a different matter. I don't have time. We are so busy. She holds her head with both hands, looking as despairing as possible for a person like her. Without even noticing, she crumples the note she's holding against her hair. I shouldn't even be fetching these things. There's so much to do. We are falling behind the schedule. Matao looks at her gravely and then suddenly smiles. The smile doesn't really fit his face. I think it's better if he didn't. I wonder if he can get some temporary help. He switches to staring at me focusedly with a hard expression, as if he's trying to say, "Go make some friends." I guess I can give you a hand. You can? Thanks, Chan. You are really nice. She pauses, does a double take, and then points at me with her fingers, yelping, "Ah!" and looking very puzzled. Come to think of it, what's Chan doing here? Class is over. You should be having fun. We just had a little chat. Oh no, it's not detention, is it? Are you in trouble, Hichan? No, I'm not. Is Hichan in trouble, teacher? Nope, he's not. Blutel signs sleepily, and I feel that I have to help Misha to get her off the teacher's back. So what do you need? Here's a list. I can try to find the plywood from somewhere if there's nothing in the art room. She offers me the note she's holding. I take it, hesitating a bit. I said I'd help, but this has no implications of whether I'm joining the council or not. Aww. Still, thanks, Achan. Try to be quick. We are in a stall building streak now. We must hurry, hurry, hurry. She bounces out of the classroom, leaving me and the teacher looking at each other with something that feels like a silent agreement. Well, there you have it, Nakai. You have something to do now. Please don't sound so smug. Looking at the list with a number of items ranging from paint to plywood, all written with small, neat handwriting, this is undoubtedly Shizun's. I heave a sigh. I'll be going then. Waving the long list simply at the teacher, I exit to the hallway. The classroom closest to ours are designated belonging to classes 3-1, 3-2 on the right side and 3-4 on the left side, each door looking exactly the same. Further down the corridor, still with identical doors, are rooms that I think were used for classes. I guess the art room is not a classroom as such. I carefully push open the furthest door and peek in. It's a classroom, but it's rather badly kept, or not in use. Am I in the right place? Desks and chairs are all around the room. A thin layer of dust settled on them. There are some easels in the corner, so at least this looks like the right place. The room is flushed in sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in the stagnant air, making the beams of light almost visible. Jokingly, I call into the empty room. Anybody who? Something catches my eye and I stop mid-sentence. Sitting on a desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform with a fork between her toes, a morsel of food stuck firmly at the end. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands. But her presence here is what takes me aback even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in a corner very still, but I still somehow took her as a part of the furnishing or a statue at first glance. I'm not being too observant today as a whole. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open? How embarrassing. Suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence and trying to think if I should. This weird stalemate keeps us both stunned into silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello? The girl stuffs the forkful in her mouth, and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hello, I was told to pick up some supplies from here, for some festival stalls, I think. I didn't think there would be someone here. There isn't. That's why I came here too. She picks up another forkful. Doesn't that mean you're here then? She raises her eyebrows. She was oh my god, I'm sorry. She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. You're pretty observant. I guess it does. But who are you? This girl is pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai, Hisao Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday. I'm Rin. Tezuka Rin. Rin Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. That's very funny. Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. Kinda bothers me. Joking about these matters doesn't feel appropriate at all. Well, I'm trying to figure out what's appropriate and whether this girl is. She seems to have lost interest in me, and is now gazing yearningly back at her food. Can I continue my lunch? If you don't mind, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are in the back. Go right ahead. But lunch? Oh wait, no. Go right ahead. But lunch? School's already over for the day. What word would you use then? There is no word for a meal you eat after lunch and before dinner, right? It bothers me very much too, but I don't really know what I should say. I don't think you are supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry now, and my delicious boxed lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry. It's very delicious. With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes, and at least as much impoliteness, she points it straight at me. So, Nakai, what brings you to this place? Like I said, I was told to look for these things. No, the school. From outside. From outside you look fine. Is your problem inside? I come to a full stop, opening my mouth but not getting a word out. I can guess. I am good at guessing. Better than most people. Ring cuts me off before I can answer her question, or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of the issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition, or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that not making issues of this is a part of the social code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not any better. Probably not any better than any normal person could. I can't relate to Shizune's circumstances, or Lily's either. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Rin keeps considering what my condition could be, with an overtly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head, and something in your guts would be boring or ordinary. Boringly ordinary. Like this lunch of mine, and less delicious. The problem must be in your pants. This messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement and the sheer lack of tact this was delivered with catches me completely off guard. I think I might have reeled back even physically as Rin's eyes widen in revelation and astonishment. So I was right. There's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Who the heck says tackle? Besides Austin Powers. Still, partially in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing that I could think of. No, nothing like that. I have a heart problem, arrhythmia. I said it. More like blurted it out, but I said it. The girl in front of me purses her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed. How boring. Trouble in your pants would have been much more scandalous. What's with this reaction? I'm sorry to let you down. I forgive you. Just, I collect people and a person with, that kind of problem would have been really great. Collect people. People with different problems. Huh, so you just like go around asking people what's wrong with them? Pretty much. I see. Hmm. With little left to say, Rin resumes her lunch and the conversation dies away. But I keep thinking about what she said. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the other people either know about it already or heard it from someone else. Or didn't need to know about it, like every other student here so far. Should I have told a natural part of introduction? Is it expected of me? Hi, I'm Hasao, and I have a very serious heart condition. Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? As if our disabilities would define us. What a disgusting thought. Or maybe this Chizushu girl, whatever her name is, just has an unnatural interest in such things. Well, I think this is a good place to stop. We'll continue this in a little bit. See you guys later.